Hello guys and welcome to a new Pocketmine tutorial. This is the second part of this series. Okay, so today I'm going to be learning you guys how to make a menu, aka a folder form. You first need to download these two folders. First, you need to download a folder with all the Pocketmine server files. Everything will be linked in the description, okay? So once you download that, now go ahead and extract this. And also extract the menu API. Okay, so once you've done both of these, you can also delete the zip files, they're not needed. So now, you want to click into the server files. So, first of all, we need to create a new plugin. Also, DevTools is also needed. This will be also linked in the description. Okay, so, for the first step of making the plugin, let's open up PHP Storm. You can use any ID you want, but I personally recommend PHP Storm because it's a very good IDE. So let's get started. First, you need to get the path of where the plugins are. For now, I'm just gonna get the path of the whole server files. So just copy this and paste it into the path of the PHP Storm. So we just open it, and now we have all the files here. So go into the plugins folder and let's make a new folder. Let's call it your form plugin. Perfect. Now we need to make an src folder, which is what the source files are. Now make a new plugin.yrml file. So here you need to put the name of the plugin, the main directory, version, and API. The API is 5.0.0 and the version can be anything with the numbers like this. So let's get started with making our source folder. So let's make a first directory. Let's call it you'll put your name on there, then your plugin name. This can be anything, by the way. And now the main class. This can be anything too, but make sure to avoid confusion, the first letter here should be always capital. Correct me if I'm wrong, by the way. Okay, there we go. Now that we have everything set up with the source folders, let's put it in the plugin.yrml. So first, how do you want to name your plugin? For example, tutorial, like this. And the main is a directory after src. If you don't know how to do this, watch the first tutorial. I'm also going to link that in the description. So the first folder after src is your name, or whatever it is, your name. Then it's your plugin name, and now it's the name of the main class, so it's called the main class. There we go. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to the main class. We have to extend the plugin base since this is the main folder, and also do not forget to make a namespace for each class. So the namespace is again the directory all the way here. So let's go ahead and copy that and paste it right there, and boom, ready. Now that we extended the plugin base, let's make a new public function on enable. We want to return void There we go. Also, a reminder to switch to one of the newest versions of PHP. Okay, so if your PC or your IDE does not recognize the Pocketmine files, I will also link the Pocketmine files in the description. So you want to click on external libraries, then right click, then configure PHP include paths. Now press the plus sign, and now
I'm gonna find the folder right now with the Pocketmine files. So let's go into my SSD.
Where the fuck is it?
Like, actually, where the fuck is it? Doc, where is it?
okay, Pocketmine files, and let's add this. Apply. Okay, ready. So yeah, this is the whole Pocketmine file thing. Okay, now on enable, you can also put a message sent in the terminal. You get the logger, and say plugin activated, or any random shit you want to put there. There we go. So now, to make it easier and more clean, we're gonna make a new public function. Load the listener. So yeah, we also need a listener. So when the player right clicks an item, it'll send the form. Okay, so let's go ahead and make it a bit easier by getting the plugin manager easily. So let's make it like this. Plugin pm equals. We'll do this. Get server and get plugin manager. There we go. Perfect. Now we're gonna do pm register events. Okay, now you want to go in your plugin folder and let's make a new directory called listeners. Okay, let's make a new class called player listener. There we go. We're gonna mess around with this later, okay? So let's go back into the main class and let's register the player listener. New player listener, like this. Boom. Okay, so for the listener, the other thing you want to do is you want to do this and load the listener. There we go. And now let's go into play listener and let's just implement listener. There we go. So now let's start with the player listener now. Okay, so this is optional. If you want, you make a public function on player join. You get a player. You can send the title. Send title. Hello. And yeah, you can also get the player name and just do it like this. Okay, now let's make another public function on item interact. Boom. PHP Storm will usually autocorrect and autofill some things. And also do not forget to put void as a return function right here. It's very important. Boom, like this again. So we also need to import all the classes. Let's import them again. Okay, imported that one and import this one too. Okay, boom. So now look at the player, get the item. So now all we want to do, we want to make a switch item get name. So case of so in case the item name is book, for example, we want to send a new form. So now it's time to make the form. So make a new directory, and let's call it forms. So let's make a new class. Let's call it my form. So now let's get started with making our form. You can customize it as much as you want. This is the most important part of this video, so make sure to concentrate a lot, and let's get right into it. We want to extend a menu form. Boom. Now let's start by making a public function construct. There we go. So now let's make a parent construct. Boom. So now let's start. This is the title. Okay, so let's go with the title. Making this too. There we go with the text. By the way, this text, I'm gonna show you right now what this is. This is inside the box, so this is inside the box. Boom. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna make a little box here. So add a comma on each one here. Actually only on this one. Okay, now you can make as many buttons as you want, just don't boom it. So new menu option, button 1, boom, comma again, and button 2, button 3, button 4. So now let's make a function. Let's add the player. I'm gonna initialize the response. So initialize selected option. Perfect. Again, we're gonna go with the return function of avoid. So now let's switch the selected option like we did with the item. So in case 0, okay, 0 is the first option, so 0 is basically 1, so it's 0, 1, 2, 3, and 1. So case 0, we're just gonna use 2 buttons for now. So case 0, which is the first button, and you wanna break it here and make another case here, case 1, and then break. Boom. So now here you add the functionality of when the button is clicked, what will happen. So let's send a title to the player. Send title. 1 second. Oops, I forgot to import it. There we go. So send title. Boom. Now let's send a title. For example, let's add a bit of color and send a title that says hello, like this. And button 2 sends a message. Player send message. Hello player. Perfect. So now what we want to do is we want to go in the play listener, and let's add the form sending. So let's start with getting the player and send form. So the form is new and the name of your form. So in this case it's my form. Alright, perfect. But now when the player joins, you want to give him an item. Okay, so let's get the player, get it inventory, and we're not gonna clear everything. So you wanna set item. Okay, so first you wanna pick an index. So the index, it's 0 for the first slot and it goes on. So the middle slot is always 4. Now you want to put a comma, and now you want to do vanilla items, and just pick any item you want. For example, I'm gonna do it with a book. There we go, perfect. So now let's go ahead and give it a custom name. Name book, and let's make it gold. Why not? So now, since it's golden, we also want to change the name here to golden too. So now that is set up, what we want to do now is start up the server, and let's see if it's gonna work. Okay, let's join and let's see if it's gonna work now. So this is the menu title, and this is inside the box. Button 1 sends a title, perfect. And button 2 sends a message, hello player, perfect. So if you want to see more tutorials like this, make sure to like, subscribe, and if you want to donate to help me make way more videos, and it's also gonna support me a lot. Thank you so much for watching, and tell me what else I should make.